Hello, steadfast Taurus. The first days of July are carrying a quiet promise, and something you've been patiently nurturing is finally beginning to rise into view. A welcome surprise is drawing closer. Hidden truths are finding their way into the light, and what once felt far beyond reach is beginning to move toward you. You are here for a reason, and this message has arrived at exactly the moment your heart is ready to receive it. Have you noticed that subtle feeling lately? It may be a gentle pull in your chest, like rich soil quietly preparing for new growth after a long season of waiting. Perhaps you've sensed that someone has been thinking about you, gathering the courage to say what has remained unspoken. Or you've simply carried the quiet certainty that your next opportunity is closer than it appears, even though you cannot yet see which path will open first. If life has felt as though it has been holding its breath beside you, if you sense the rhythm around you beginning to shift, then this message is meant for you. During July 1st and 2nd, 2026, the sky encourages emotional expansion and heartfelt growth, creating a rare opening that supports fresh beginnings, deeper clarity, and the confidence to build something lasting. This isn't about chasing change. It's about recognizing that the right season is beginning to unfold. Today's tarot message carries extraordinary depth. The Ace of Pentacles, the Page of Cups, and the High Priestess offer far more than symbols on a table. They sketch a path toward abundance, emotional honesty, and inner wisdom. Their message reaches beyond financial blessings, inviting you to remember the version of yourself that trusted your own strength before fear convinced you to question it, before silence became heavier than spoken words, and before you learned to make yourself smaller just to feel secure. Today, Taurus, you no longer need to remain on the sidelines. What has stayed hidden is preparing to reveal itself. What has taken longer than expected is beginning to move, and what once seemed beyond your grasp is becoming available to you. If these words already awaken something inside you, don't ignore that feeling. Leave a comment below and write, "I'm ready for my $1 million miracle. I choose divine timing. I trust what's meant for me will find me." When you give your intentions a voice, your heart becomes even more open to what is ready to enter your life. Before we continue, I want to thank you sincerely for spending this time here with me. Your kindness, your comments, your encouragement, and your willingness to be part of this growing community mean more than you know. You're far more than someone watching a video. And Taurus, I truly believe today's message has the potential to reshape the direction of your journey. That possibility depends on one simple choice: staying present with what unfolds next. Take a slow breath, let the outside noise fade into the background, and allow yourself to settle into this moment because you've waited long enough. What quiet feeling inspired you to press play today? I believe your inner wisdom recognized that these first days of July are opening the door to something that has been growing beneath the surface for much longer than you realize. There is something quietly powerful about perfect timing. Right now, Taurus, you are standing at the threshold of one of the most meaningful, energetic openings of your season. It feels like a gate slowly swinging open across a fertile field, welcoming the opportunities your heart has been patiently preparing for, even if your mind has not fully put those hopes into words. These opening days of July carry the feeling of a new chapter taking root, not because of superstition, but because some seasons naturally invite fresh growth. The current celestial atmosphere supports emotional clarity, steady confidence, and the willingness to receive what matches your true worth. This energy isn't asking you to rely on force or endless planning. It responds to quiet faith, open hands, and the calm certainty that you are ready for greater abundance, deeper understanding, and lasting peace in the places where uncertainty once lingered. Right now, Taurus, life is gently asking you to loosen your grip and allow trust to carry part of the weight you've been holding. This isn't an invitation to stand still or stop caring. It's an invitation to move in harmony with what has been preparing itself for you all along. During these opening days of July, the energy supports steady beginnings, and the Ace of Pentacles reminds us that the strongest blessings are built on solid ground rather than hurried effort. This card reaches far beyond money alone. It speaks of a foundation you can truly stand on, something lasting, practical, and worthy of your time and heart. The opportunity it represents doesn't require endless chasing because it naturally meets you when your choices reflect the value you already carry within yourself. It may appear as unexpected financial news, a meaningful career opening, a new agreement, or even a simple conversation that quietly grows into long-term support. Yet beneath every visible opportunity lies something even more valuable. This card is asking whether you feel safe enough to receive without questioning your worth. And that can be one of the hardest lessons for many people. Lasting abundance begins the moment you stop believing you must earn the right to accept goodness. As the Page of Cups joins this message, the focus becomes deeply personal. This gentle messenger often arrives when someone has been carrying words too heavy to keep inside any longer, emotions that have waited quietly beneath the surface. It could be someone from your past, or it could be someone already close to you whose silence has spoken louder than conversation ever could. The important part isn't simply who may reach out. What matters is that the emotional atmosphere around you is becoming more open, making honesty easier to express and genuine vulnerability easier to receive. When that happens, old walls begin to soften, guarded hearts slowly open, and meaningful conversations finally find the space they've needed. Then the High Priestess reminds you of something you've quietly known all along. Long before circumstances become obvious, your inner wisdom often recognizes the truth first. In a world filled with constant opinions, distractions, and noise, this card gently encourages you to trust that quiet voice instead of explaining it away. If you've been feeling a subtle pull that refuses to disappear, don't dismiss it as coincidence. Your inner awareness has been preparing you long before your outer circumstances could catch up. The current celestial energy reflects a grounded truth that many people associate with the law of attraction. Your life responds most naturally to what you genuinely believe you're prepared to receive. The deeper question isn't simply what you've been hoping for. It's whether your everyday choices, your energy, and the way you treat yourself reflect the belief that you're ready to hold those blessings. Confidence grows through lived experience, not only through positive thoughts. Daily life can easily pull your attention in 100 directions. Between responsibilities, schedules, financial concerns, and constant distractions, it can feel difficult to stay connected to that quiet confidence. Even so, moments of grace continue to find their way to you, sometimes through the right person appearing unexpectedly, sometimes through a peaceful pause when your heart quietly says, "I'm ready now," and sometimes through a message like this. So, Taurus, don't hurry through these first days of July as if they're ordinary. Let this new season unfold at its own pace, and allow the light to reach places that have waited patiently beneath the surface. When the conversation, the opportunity, or the truth finally arrives, you won't need to force certainty because you've been growing into this moment far longer than you realize. More often than not, the experiences that reshape our lives aren't the ones we exhaust ourselves trying to capture. They arrive after we've released the need to control every detail and created enough space for something better to enter. That's the quiet rhythm surrounding you now during this fresh beginning. The energy moving through your life isn't asking you to push harder. It's inviting openness, steady confidence, and a willingness to receive. When the Ace of Pentacles appears within an atmosphere like this, it often points toward tangible abundance, new opportunities, meaningful invitations, financial improvements, and practical breakthroughs that rarely arrive exactly the way you imagined. That blessing could come through an unexpected payment, a refund, a thoughtful gift, a bonus, or news involving resources that suddenly become available when you least expect them. Sometimes the greatest blessing isn't money arriving in your hands at all. Sometimes it's a doorway opening toward lasting prosperity, the right partnership appearing at the perfect moment, or an idea that feels so deeply connected to who you are that it quietly changes the direction of your future. The beautiful part is that you don't have to run after it because the opportunities that truly belong to you often arrive when you've stopped trying to force every step. Think about how a butterfly settles on a flower that simply remains open to the morning light. It doesn't respond to frantic movement. It comes to stillness, patience, and quiet welcome. That's often how life's greatest gifts appear as well, arriving gently through trust, readiness, and the willingness to receive instead of reaching. Right now, the question isn't whether this opportunity exists. The question is whether you're ready to welcome it when it finds you. Sometimes your answer isn't spoken aloud because it rises as a calm certainty inside your heart, a peaceful realization that says, "This belongs in my life, and I'm ready to receive it." When you open that inner door, what has been preparing itself for you doesn't arrive a little at a time. It begins to flow naturally into the space you've created. Through the years, I watched countless people discover that genuine abundance grows far more often through healing than through constant striving, through softening old fears instead of carrying them forward, and through releasing what no longer belongs in their lives. There is a kind of prosperity that only takes root after you've made peace with yesterday. It grows in people who have forgiven quietly, breathed without needing recognition, and continued moving forward even when nothing seemed to be changing on the surface. Like seeds resting beneath rich soil before the first green shoots appear, your quiet perseverance has never been wasted. I want to remind you of something both simple and deeply important. You've already carried yourself through uncertainty, disappointment, and seasons of waiting that ask more of your heart than anyone else could see. As an old spiritual teaching beautifully reminds us, those who sow through tears often gather their harvest with joy. And that steady rhythm of growth is unfolding for you now. So allow yourself to receive what's coming. Let yourself believe that something beautiful can enter your life without demanding the sacrifice of your peace or your self-respect. The season unfolding before you isn't asking you to prove yourself again. It's inviting you to recognize how much you've already grown. If you've been waiting for permission to believe that something wonderful is possible, let this be the moment you accept it. And now, Taurus, as July 1st and 2nd, 2026, open the door to a fresh beginning. Ask yourself this: what are you truly ready to welcome into your life? What might change if you simply remained open, grounded, and willing to say yes when the right opportunity arrives? Let the world know you're ready by leaving a comment below. May luck find me now. Giving your intention a voice strengthens your commitment to receive what you've been preparing for. This isn't simply a message filled with encouragement. It's a reminder that the breakthrough you stopped chasing may already be making its way toward you. Again and again, life's greatest turning points appear after we've released the need to control every detail. They often find us when we've made enough room for something new, instead of holding tightly to the way we thought everything had to happen. That's exactly the quiet rhythm surrounding these first days of July. The energy supporting you now isn't asking for endless effort. It's encouraging openness, steady confidence, and the willingness to receive what matches your true worth. Whenever the Ace of Pentacles appears alongside an atmosphere like this, it points toward real opportunities, meaningful progress, financial growth, and practical breakthroughs that rarely arrive in the form you first imagined. That blessing could come through an unexpected payment, a refund, a thoughtful gift, a bonus, or news that unexpectedly strengthens your future. Yet sometimes, the greatest gift has nothing to do with money at all. It may be the opportunity you've been preparing for, the collaboration that feels completely aligned with your values, or the idea that quietly transforms your path because you welcomed it with patient, open hands instead of trying to force it into your life. Right now, life is quietly asking you one simple question, Taurus. When the opportunity finally reaches you, would your heart be open enough to welcome it? Your answer doesn't have to be dramatic or spoken for the world to hear. Sometimes it rises in a quiet moment when everything suddenly feels clear, and without hesitation you recognize that what you've been hoping for has finally found its way to you. Other times, it feels like nothing more than a peaceful certainty settling deep inside your heart, gently saying, "This is meant for me, and I'm ready to receive it." The moment you open that inner door, what truly belongs in your life doesn't arrive with hesitation. It begins to flow into the space you've patiently prepared. Throughout the years, I've watched countless people move through seasons of profound change, and one truth continues to reveal itself. Lasting abundance rarely grows from constant struggle. More often it takes root through healing, through softening the places that once carried fear, and through releasing the habits, relationships, or beliefs that no longer support who you're becoming. There is a kind of prosperity that only reaches those who have made peace with where they've been. It belongs to those who forgave without needing recognition, shed quiet tears that no one else witnessed, and continued walking forward with hope, even when the path ahead remained hidden. Like seeds resting beneath rich earth before the first signs of growth appear, much of your progress has been taking place long before anyone else could see it. I want to remind you of something that deserves to be heard. You've already faced the uncertainty, carried the heartbreak, and lived through the long seasons of waiting. One of my favorite spiritual teachings says that those who sow through tears eventually gather their harvest with joy, and that gentle rhythm of growth is exactly what these first days of July are inviting you to trust. So let yourself receive what is making its way toward you. Allow yourself to believe that goodness can enter your life without asking you to sacrifice your peace, your values, or your sense of self. This season isn't here to test your worth. It's inviting you to recognize the strength you've quietly built along the way. If you've been waiting for permission to believe that something beautiful can happen, let this moment be enough. And now, Taurus, as July 1st and 2nd, 2026 open the door to a fresh beginning, ask yourself what you're truly ready to welcome. What might change if you simply remain grounded, open-hearted, and willing to say yes when the right opportunity appears? If that speaks to you, leave a comment below and write, "May luck find me now." Giving your intention a voice strengthens your willingness to receive what's already moving toward you. This isn't simply another message. It's a gentle confirmation that the breakthrough you stopped chasing may already be finding its way to you. Sometimes what the heart longs for most isn't a perfect ending, but a clear understanding of what has been hidden. Taurus, this is where your journey begins to deepen. The appearance of the Page of Cups isn't accidental. It arrives like a gentle knock on the door of your emotional world, suggesting that someone connected to your life may finally be ready to express what has remained unspoken for far too long. This message reaches beyond romance alone. It can involve any meaningful connection that has felt unfinished, unresolved, or quietly suspended in silence. Whether it's a former partner, a trusted friend, or even a member of your family, someone may be carrying words that have waited patiently for the right moment to be spoken. What makes this time meaningful isn't only that another person may be ready to speak, it's that your own heart has grown ready to truly hear what needs to be said. You may not have realized how deeply you've been waiting for honesty, for clarity, or simply for someone to acknowledge the significance of what once existed between you. Emotional clarity is one of the gentlest forms of healing. It may not rewrite the past, but it can release the weight of unanswered questions, allowing you to breathe more freely, rest more peacefully, and continue forward with greater ease. Remember this as you move through whatever unfolds. Forgiveness is never an obligation. True forgiveness only has value when it supports your own healing. What you're being invited into is emotional freedom, not pressure to reconnect or erase your boundaries. If someone shares a truth you never expected to hear, you're free to respond with kindness while still choosing the distance that feels healthiest for you. You may also discover that their words arrive exactly when your heart is ready for them, bringing a sense of peace that has quietly remained out of reach for much longer than you realized. Through the years, while walking beside people navigating love, loss, and reconciliation, I've witnessed moments like this unfold, time and time again. Sometimes it arrives as a quiet message that finds you months or even years later. Sometimes it's an apology you had long ago stopped expecting, or an honest confession that simply says, "I didn't know how to tell you then, but I finally know how to say it now." Even when those words aren't perfect, they often carry a truth that reaches much deeper than flawless language ever could. You may discover that you were never forgotten after all. Someone may have carried thoughts of you far longer than you realized, and whether those words change anything on the outside, they often create a profound shift within your own heart. The greatest transformation sometimes begins long before circumstances themselves begin to change. One principle has remained true through countless conversations about healing. The moment truth is finally spoken, confusion begins to lose its grip. Once hidden feelings come into the light, they no longer hold the same quiet power over your life, and you no longer have to keep replaying unanswered questions or unfinished conversations in the middle of the night. Little by little, your body begins to relax, your thoughts become gentler, your heart grows lighter, and you slowly find your way back to yourself. You may even be surprised to realize that what you've truly been preparing for isn't necessarily reconciliation, but the freedom to release the past with kindness instead of carrying it any longer. Real emotional healing isn't about reopening every closed chapter. It's about continuing your journey without the weight of everything that was never expressed. If these words stir something inside you today, trust that feeling, because moments like this rarely happen without a reason. There may be someone from your present or your past who feels this same quiet pull. Whether they express it through words, actions, or simply through the energy they carry, something within them may be moving closer to honesty. At the same time, your own heart may already recognize that change before your mind fully understands it. So let me gently ask you something, Taurus. Is there someone you've quietly hoped to hear from? Someone whose silence has lingered longer than you ever expected? If that speaks to your heart, leave a comment below and write, "I am ready to hear the truth." Sometimes that simple declaration becomes the first step toward healing, not only between two people but also within yourself. When truth finally reaches a heart prepared to receive it, peace has room to grow. Love doesn't always arrive with dramatic moments or grand declarations. More often, it enters your life like the first soft light of morning, spreading across a quiet field, calm, steady, and arriving exactly when the season is right. Taurus, if you felt your heart quietly waiting without fully understanding what it has been waiting for, these first days of July invite you to pay closer attention. The emotional atmosphere surrounding you encourages honesty, deeper understanding, and gentle renewal. The High Priestess reminds you that your inner wisdom has recognized the truth long before circumstances were able to confirm it. Even before events began to make sense, some part of you already knew who genuinely saw your worth and who simply passed through your life. What once existed only as quiet intuition is beginning to take shape in the world around you. As this new season unfolds, two meaningful possibilities begin to emerge, and both deserve your thoughtful attention. The first is the arrival of someone new. This person isn't defined by dramatic gestures or overwhelming intensity, but by steadiness, kindness, and emotional safety. They don't come to rescue you or reshape who you are. Instead, they create space where you can remain fully yourself, making love feel less like a chase and more like finally finding solid ground beneath your feet. The second possibility is the return of someone whose growth has changed them in meaningful ways. This isn't a return to old patterns, but the possibility of reconnecting with someone who has faced their own lessons and is now capable of meeting you where you are today instead of where your story once paused. Real change is possible, but only when it rests on accountability, maturity, and a shared commitment to love with greater wisdom than before. If this is the path beginning to unfold, allow yourself to move slowly. Trust what your inner calm reveals before placing all your confidence in spoken promises. Often your body recognizes genuine safety before your thoughts are able to explain why. At the heart of this chapter is a truth that's easy to overlook. The love we welcome into our lives often reflects the kindness, respect, and care we first learned to give ourselves. As you begin treating yourself with greater gentleness, and stop setting aside your own needs to earn someone else's approval, you naturally become available for relationships that honor those same qualities. This is where true alignment begins. It's less about wishing for love and more about becoming the kind of person who can comfortably receive the healthy love you've always deserved. You may have experienced relationships that taught you, sometimes painfully, exactly what love is not. Maybe there was a time when you believed you cared too deeply, felt too much, or expected more than others could give. Those experiences didn't weaken you. They prepared you to recognize the difference between temporary affection and the kind of love that truly honors your heart. Now you're no longer willing to settle for half-hearted effort, and the peace you built within yourself is making room for a relationship that values you completely. I've seen this happen again and again. The moment someone stops chasing love and starts choosing themselves, everything begins to shift. Old patterns loosen, emotional burdens grow lighter, and what once felt far away starts moving closer, whether through a message, a meaningful encounter, or a quiet sense of peace that arrives without warning. So let me ask you, Taurus, what do you feel approaching during these first days of July 1st and 2nd, 2026? Is it someone new who brings calm and stability, someone from your past returning with genuine growth, or the deeper relationship you're finally building with yourself? Whatever form it takes, you'll recognize it because it encourages you to grow instead of asking you to become less of who you are. If this message resonates, leave a comment below and write, "I choose healing love." That simple affirmation anchors the future you're ready to welcome. These opening days of July aren't asking you to push harder. They're inviting you to create space within yourself, so new blessings can finally take root. Before something new can fully enter your life, something old must be released. Simple rituals can help. Clear a forgotten corner of your home, place fresh flowers nearby, light a green candle, or safely write down old fears before letting them go. Your surroundings often reflect your inner world. And as your space becomes lighter, your heart naturally opens to new possibilities. These first days of July offer more than a fresh page on the calendar. They invite an emotional reset and the chance to build a stronger foundation for what's ahead. Repeat this affirmation: I release the past. I open my heart to what's meant for me. You're not pretending to be ready, you're choosing to become ready. In personal growth, we often speak about emotional looping, the mind returning to the same hurt because it's searching for an ending that never came. But closure doesn't always come from someone else. Sometimes it begins the moment you stop reopening the same chapter and allow yourself to move forward. Release self-blame. Let go of the need to understand every unanswered question, and remember that you don't have to be perfect to deserve something beautiful. Wearing sage green for growth, forest green for abundance, soft gold for prosperity, cream for peace, or terracotta for grounding can serve as gentle reminders of the energy you're choosing to embrace. You are already enough, and your transformation is already unfolding. Ask yourself, what am I willing to release today so I can move forward with freedom? If you're ready, comment, I release the past. I open my heart to what's next. Taurus, you've come farther than you realize. Every challenge, every unanswered question, and every quiet act of resilience has shaped you into someone wiser, stronger, and more open. This journey isn't only about what's coming, it's about recognizing who you've become. The Ace of Pentacles, Page of Cups, and the High Priestess remind you that you've been preparing yourself for these blessings all along. As your inner foundation grows stronger, opportunities, heartfelt conversations, and healing relationships naturally begin finding their way toward you. Like roots growing beneath fertile soil, you've already done much of the unseen work. Your quiet commitment to healing is proof that you're ready for what's next. Now you're prepared to welcome this new chapter with clarity, confidence, and peace. The next 72 hours carry the energy of meaningful transformation. If your heart is saying yes, honor that feeling. Leave a comment below, I'm ready for my $1 million surprise. I open my heart to truth and lasting love. Or I welcome the abundance and clarity that belong to me. If this message touched your heart, please like the video, subscribe for future messages, and share it with someone who may need these words today. Thank you for being here and for your continued support. Taurus, may the road ahead be filled with steady growth, clear truth, and quiet wonder as you move forward with open hands, an open heart, and unwavering trust.